Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're familiar with my other video about deferred MBA, this one is about the full-time and evening weekend MBA specifically. So for mid to young career professionals, this would be the video for you. And I do touch upon like similar topics in the other video. So if you are curious or want to learn more, definitely check that one out as well. I'll link it. But yeah, so this video, I'll talk about why an MBA. So a lot of my friends who are currently working and ended up also going to the MBA path as me have asked me, why is an MBA like so worth it? Or like what's the point of it? I would say mainly for the experiential opportunities and the flexibility to experiment with different strategies and leadership and management without having those real life consequences, and also getting to have practice leading teams or networking with people from around the world. I know during my experience, I got to meet a lot of international students from different countries, so that was very eye-opening, learning about cultural differences and how they apply themselves to work in different regions or focus on different topics. So it really enriches the classroom discussions. Some things I would say why an MBA is for sure the long-term benefits. I think your career can definitely like rocket launch much faster with a degree because it signals to employers that you're smart, intelligent, willing to put forth the effort, and you have that additional kind of executive presence with that. Another thing I would say is definitely like compensation-wise, salary-wise, that's definitely going to be higher than if you didn't have an MBA and you tried to climb up the corporate ladder slowly. And I think it also opens up a lot more opportunities for you, because if you were to concentrate or study different topics, you are able to explore industries or roles and functions that you wouldn't be able to without that kind of 2-year gap in time to learn those additional technical skills or soft skills, and even get like internship experience. A lot of my friends work part-time during the school year, and even during the summer internship, they really use that to pivot and explore either a new role or a new industry or company. So like, let's say they did finance before at a bank, they might want to do finance in tech or nonprofit or energy, other industries. Other people have completely pivoted, and if they did banking before school, they decided to do consulting for their internship or tech. So I keep repeating these because these top 3 industries are most popular among the students. I would say like 30% are consulting, 30% go into finance, and then the remaining go to tech and other. I know product management is growing rapidly, aside from the current environment of tech layoffs. So there's that, but that's not to say that there's no variety in school. There definitely is. And with an MBA, you can also pair it with dual degrees or joint ones. So some people are taking additional computer science courses along with their MBA, or public policy or law school. So a good thing about this school is that you have access to basically everything on campus, all the facilities. You can even take some classes that undergrads are in, I think, if the topic interests you. Like, for example, there's one, I think it's like Little Red Schoolhouse, how to do storytelling or business writing. It's quite popular, and then you can sit in on classes. So everything's very accessible, I would say. Going over to the student life or community life, a lot of the clubs are kind of self-driven by students. Sometimes they create new ones and demonstrate that leadership capacity or dive deeper into topics that they're interested in, whether it's aligned with their career or personal interest. We have a variety of clubs, whether it's student government and leadership, innovation and design, and analytics, booth tech group, management consulting group, investment banking group. So anything that's related to a career, there's a club for that. And then there's also the fun stuff where there's like coffee club, audio booth, which is like the more music club. There's economies of scale, which is the a cappella group. And then there's dance. There's media entertainment, which is the stage and screen one. So it varies a lot in terms of what we have. In terms of how to apply, I would say there's, I think it would take about like a year or 2 years to prep your application, because you do have to take the GMAT and GRE exam. A lot of my friends and me personally have taken it more than once, because you want to try and get a higher score. If not the first time, you do really well. And then you also have to figure out which exam fits your personality and learning style better, because you may do better on one versus the other. From my experience, the GMAT was more heavy on math, and the verbal I found easier, versus the GRE. The verbal was harder, but the math was easier. So maybe you have to take one of each and then see which one you do better and to move forward with. You also need to get your letters of recommendation. So maybe plan ahead in terms of how you want to navigate your current projects at work, and whether you want to put in effort to start new initiatives or whatnot. And then the money aspect, we all know MBA costs a lot of money. So scholarships, there are definitely some programs that sponsor your MBA once you're admitted. Some notable ones are like Questbridge and the consortium. So definitely check out different programs out there in terms of prep and scholarships, because you can take advantage of that as you're applying. And I'll touch on the application aspect of it. I would say the short-term and long-term goals are very important. As that came across in the essay questions that are asked and the interview, they really want to know that you come in with a purpose for an MBA, and that you have a clear direction of how this MBA is going to take you further along your career and aspirations. So I would say specificity is key here, and also, thoughts about the school should be incorporated into it. So you demonstrate that you've done applicable research in terms of the classes you want to take, the professors you want to learn from, the programs. I think what's good about Booth is that it has a lot of experiential opportunities, as I mentioned before. So you could take lab classes where you work directly with a client or company and then learn at the same time. So you're applying the concepts every week from class into a real life situation and presenting that to employees at a company who may or may not implement your idea, which is very rewarding if they happen to do so. And clubs as well, they also try to partner with nonprofits or small, medium-sized businesses in the area, so you do get exposure to more of the Hyde Park community, Chicago area, and also make a difference with what you're learning at school. In terms of the interview, I would say common questions they ask are the situational, hypothetical ones, where it's tell me about a time when you led a team or took a risk or worked in a team situation and how you led everyone. There's also I think so typical behavioral questions. There's also more school specific ones, what are your favorite classes? What about Booth that you like? Any professors you want to learn from? What resources would you take advantage of if you were here as a student? So another thing I would talk about is the what happens after you're admitted. So you have the opportunity to join a random walk, which is an international or domestic trip with other newly admits. So you build those relationships and friendships ahead of time, and then carry that through over the 2 years. I'm still friends with the people I met during my trip, so that definitely holds true. And during orientation, there's this lead program for about a couple of weeks where you learn from second year students who are your lead facilitators about diversity inclusion, how to lead, and you play different games together just to build those friendships. And if you are trying to compare schools, some things I would look at are the employment reports on their websites to see what percentage of students go into what industry, what their expected salary is after graduation, and just get a feel for like, is this matching your career prospects? And then what kind of resources they have. So I think when I first started, products management didn't have as many compared to the other industries, but now it's growing. So definitely talk to current students and see what's new and happening in the schools. So if you have additional questions, comments, or concerns, definitely comment down below and I'll get to them as quick as I can. And if you have additional like things that you want me to talk about in a video, I can also do that as well. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Oh, I forgot to add, if I were to whittle down like the main points of differentiation for Booth as a school, in my opinion, number one is a pay it forward culture. You'll hear everyone talk about it, students, because we always like collaborate, whether in group projects or class activities, even for applying to jobs. People are open to referring you to positions and like telling you what their internship experience was like, so you can decide if you'd be interested in that, and pivoting over. They also help you review resumes. I know as a first year I was lost and really wanted some advice and guidance, and the second years like went out of their way to help me review my resume, spoke to me about like how to navigate both like the school and the recruitment aspect, especially during fall quarter when there's a lot of things going on and you don't want to miss out. So I'm really thankful for that. Second thing is the flexible curriculum. I think Booth is known for, because other schools have some sort of a core where you have to take it for a year, same class as everyone else, and you learn from them, which is beneficial, but also having that flexibility is good, because then if you know exactly what you want to work on in terms of skills or dive deeper into, you can do that right off the bat, so you don't have to wait. And the third thing I would say is the Chicago approach. If you Google it, there's lots of like different interpretations of it and what it is. For me, I would say it's a data-driven lens on the world, and being willing to experiment and make assumptions or hypotheses, and testing those out by doing experiments or like observing new data, and then incorporating all that qualitative and quantitative data into your model to better approach the world. So yeah, I would say those are the things that stand out to me a lot. And since I've done undergrad at UChicago, I'm quite familiar with like the environment of like how challenging it is, how people are very innovative and entrepreneurial, especially at Booth. We have that new venture challenge and other competitions like case competitions for consulting or marketing that you can take part of as a team with other students. So I think that's one way to get to know people and also like go out of your comfort zone, because you're diving deeper into a topic and seeing like what you can bring out of it. And we also have grade non-disclosure, so I think that allows you to take more risk in terms of your academics and taking classes that you might not normally take, or might not be your strong suit, but you're curious about learning. And yeah, this is a Booth magazine, so if you do get a chance to visit campus, I would recommend taking some of these like free books and learning more about like the school. Like this one's Data-Driven Classroom, which makes sense. So there's a lot that you can pick up on, both online and like with these marketing materials if you're not able to visit campus. So definitely like just take a look at it. I think would help. The Measure of Real Wealth Index. This is quite interesting, honestly. And then, yeah. And definitely try to join a lot of admissions events if you can, like whether it's online, virtual, or in person. There's also that Meet a Student tool or Connect with a Student tool online, where you can find someone in your similar industry or career path and then learn from them how they navigated Booth. And I think that's quite valuable. But yeah, thank you so much for watching.